All right, there are a couple of ways to think about this question. It's just a line, and with lines we know we have y equals mx plus b, so we can think about it that way. However, I noticed that they mess with the scale here, right? Each line is 2, right? Each part of the graph is 2 units, not 1 unit. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to just being 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it's 2, 4, 6, 8. So that might mess with me, and I am kind of near the part of the test where I'd expect there to be traps. So we could think about the slope, and I'll show you how to do it in a second, but a safer move is to use my favorite strategy. Plug points into equations. Pick a point off the graph, and there's no misinterpretation, right? You're going to be able to look at the scale just for that one point, and then plug it into the equations and see what you get. Now, the first point I would always plug in is the y-intercept because it's just easy, it's easy to see, and it's easy to plug in because it's where the x-coordinate is 0. But if I look ahead to my answers, I see that that's not going to make a difference. If I plug 0 in for x, all the x pieces are going to go away, and every single choice is going to give me the -8 that I'm looking for. And so this is another problem with just thinking of this as a y equals mx plus b situation, is we'd expect or hope for the y-intercept to kind of help us out, get rid of some choices. Here it doesn't do that. But that's okay. Let's just pick another point. So what do you see? I don't know. Let's stick with small numbers here. Let's do this point here. That's 2, -10. So 2, -10. So if I plug 2 in, I'm hoping to get -10 out. So -2 times 2 minus 8. Well, that's -4 minus 8, that's -12, not -10, meaning that point does not fit in that equation, but it's supposed to. So if I go to choice B, that's going to be 2 minus 8, well, that's -6, not -10, so that also doesn't work. And then this would be -2 minus 8, well, that's -10, so that seems good, but I need to check D. It's possible that multiple answers work. Let's take a look. 2 times 2 minus 8, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 minus 8 is -4, wrong. And so C is the answer. And in a way, maybe it's a little bit more time consuming than if you just kind of calculated the slope or counted the boxes or something, but there's too much here that makes me nervous. And I know from experience that seeing the points and plugging them into the equations lowers your chance of a careless mistake by a lot. And maybe you only had a 5% chance of making a careless mistake on something like this. But to me, 5% is too high, right? Like, we want it to be as close to 0 as possible. And over the course of an entire SAT, if you keep having a 5% chance of a careless mistake, you're gonna make careless mistakes, right? There's 44 questions in math. It's gonna happen. So we don't want it to happen. And if we use these strategies to kind of prevent it ahead of time, we are gonna increase our scores. So if you wanted to do this more traditionally, you would need to do kind of what I did here, pick 2 points, but then understand the slope between them. What's the rise over run? Well, we can hopefully see right off the bat that this is a negative slope, right? The line is going that direction. So that would get rid of things like B and D, because the M portion, the slope, is positive, right? 2 and 1. So we would need either A or C to match that. And then if we go down and over, it's hard to see maybe on my drawing, what are we doing? Well, we're going down 1 box, but 1 box is equal to 2. So that's a rise of -2. And then the same thing going over, right? We're going over 1 box, but again, 1 box is 2. So that's -2 over 2. So that is -1. And that's what the slope is for choice C. When there's no number in front of the x, we know it's a 1. So this is -1. So you could get it that way. Maybe that's easier. But I do know how the SAT messes with scale on graphs a lot. They use it to kind of trick you. Here, it's not a huge trap. It's not really going to affect things, I don't think. But just from experience, I know that it could. And in the moment, you sense traps everywhere, and you want to just be as certain as possible. And plug points into equations is such a great way of being certain about something and just really decreasing the chance of a careless mistake.